Hi, this is Marsha.
And this is Kelly.
We are the 2U's of 2U's Fiber Adventures. Thanks for stopping by.
You'll hear about knitting, spinning, dyeing, crocheting, and just about anything else we can think of as a way to play with string.
We blog and post show notes at 2usfiberadventures.com.
And we invite you to join our 2U's Fiber Adventures group on Ravelry. I'm 100 Projects.
And I am Better in Motion.
We're both on Instagram and Ravelry, and we look forward to meeting you there.
Enjoy the episode. Good morning.
Good morning, Marsha. Did you have a nice Christmas?
I did. It was very nice. Lovely. A little hectic, but mostly relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
How are you? You had a little bit too much. You were sick before Christmas.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I got a nasty cold before Christmas, right after grades were due. Maybe the week after school ended. Right about the time we were supposed to record, and I pretty much had lost a good amount of my voice, and so we haven't recorded for a while. And then we went for Christmas week. We left the 23rd, and we went to a campground we had not camped in before. We had visited it to check it out, and my mom and Dennis had camped there before, and they really liked it. We had planned to camp there last year for my birthday, but the weather was so bad. There were high wind advisories and stuff, and so we decided not to take the trailer out. So this year we went, and there were flood advisories, but it wasn't an area where we thought we would be in trouble that way, although it is by a lake and a creek. Anyway, it was very nice. We stayed all through the Christmas holiday, and we came home, not yesterday, but the day before. And on Christmas Day, we actually left. It was close enough that we actually left and went to brunch at my niece's. And saw all three of my nieces were there. It was just like Easter. All three of my nieces were there. My mom was there. My brother was there. So our whole immediate family, and then all the kids were all there. Nice. It was fun, yeah. And then about 3:00 we went back to camp and then stayed, until, like I said, the day before yesterday. So we saw deer and turkeys and wild pigs.
Well, you posted that picture in the video of the turkeys, and it was kind of. I didn't realize how big they are.
Yeah. Well, they look bigger than they really are because they, had all their feathers puffed out. But yes, it was, honestly, it looked like they were having a parade. All these male turkeys walking, strutting, just like slow and regal, just strutting as their feathers were all out. Such puffery. So... It was fun to watch them. They came out on all the rainy days, all the days where we had rain off and on. They were out quite a bit, and then on the last morning was really cold. No, that was so the second to the last morning we had rain in the morning, and then that was the end of the rain that was predicted. And then the next morning was the coldest day that we were there. And those 2 days, we really didn't see the turkeys as much as we had in the previous days. But those are the days when the pigs came out. And I have no idea if it had anything to do with the weather or what, but that was quite something. I was reading first we drove to the dam to see the dam. So we drove, it was, I don't know, about 4 or 5 miles up the road. So we drove to see that. And then on the way there, we saw the pigs on the side of the road. And so I got a good picture of them from the safety of the truck. And then when we went back to camp, I was sitting reading, and Bailey was on the tailgate. Barry was in his crate, and Bailey was just laying on the tailgate and in the sun, and we were both just kind of sitting there. I was reading in a chair, and I look up from reading, and they're actually in our campsite, like not super close, not like feet away from me, like not like 5 or 6 feet away from me, but maybe like 20 feet away from me in the back of our campsite. It was quite it was a shock when I looked up from my book, and here's like 6 of these pigs all like grazing on the grass at the back of our campground. And I said to Robert, "Oh my gosh, the pigs are here." And with that, they just bolted into there was like a little wash behind us, with trees in it. And they just bolted into the trees. And then I didn't see them back in the campsite again. But it was really, I was really surprised. I had not heard them arrive. I was just deeply engrossed in this book and never looked up or anything. And when I did, there they were. So that was kind of, that was kind of scary. They weren't super big.
Are these are not wild boars with the tusk? These are just feral. They're feral. Oh, okay.
I mean,
they're not feral pigs.
They are feral pigs. But they do have the ones that were in front of our campground. I didn't see clearly enough to see if any of them had the like teeth, I guess they're teeth, the tusks that stick out. But these weren't very big. These were probably younger. But yeah, they originated as feral pigs, but they've been in the area for hundreds of years, probably. So it was quite destructive.
Yeah.
And, not a great thing, but they're pretty, I think they call it endemic when something has, like the eucalyptus, they're not native, but they've been here for so long. That I think they call that endemic, an endemic species. But anyway, yeah. And I don't know what they do to control them, or if they do anything to control them. But one year they pretty much destroyed all of the grass areas, picnic areas at Toro Park, which is near a regional park near me. And they actually had traps out to trap them because of the amount of damage that they were doing.
So they are they sort of, what do they call that? Are they herbivores? They just eat grass? Or
no.
Are they, what are they, omnivores where they just eat anything?
They're really opportunistic omnivores. They'll eat whatever they can eat. And they eat, so they have these lockers for your food, and they said don't leave your cooler out because they can break into a cooler, but they can't break into these food lockers that they have. So like if you were tent camping or if you had food in a cooler, you would need to put it either in your vehicle or, put the stuff in these lockers. So
your trailer is like a big giant cooler. It's just a tin can.
That's right. That's
on
right.
wheels.
Yes.
You were fine with your food in the trailer, though, right?
Yeah, we had food in the refrigerator in the trailer, and then we had some other stuff. Actually, we had the eggnog in the cooler in the truck. So, but one campsite, they left their garbage out, and the next morning it was all strewn everywhere. So, you have to be careful. And that's why they come to the campsite, because they can get, free food.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, they must have locking garbage cans, but they just didn't put people just didn't put it in there. Yeah.
It's not as bad as bear. We didn't have to take as many precautions as when you camp where there's bear, but you do have to take precautions, I guess, against these pigs. And they're smart. Pigs are really smart.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Like bears are smart. Pigs are really smart, and they figure stuff out. So, yeah. So it was fun. It was a great camping trip. And then I was glad to be home, sleep in my own bed, and begin to work on my loom, which I can't bring with me.
I have to laugh. I have to laugh at the statement about sleep in your own bed because it's your own bed in the trailer, right?
It is true. That's true.
It's not a motel bed.
No, that is true.
But it's not as, I've seen that bed. It's not as roomy as your bed at home, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Sleep in my usual bed, let's say. Yeah.
Yeah, your usual bed, yeah. Anyway. Well, yeah, I had a pretty good holiday. I don't know if I did anything very spectacular over the holidays. I had people over Christmas Eve. And then, Dave, our friend Dave, we went to his house, your wedding photographer. We went to his house for Christmas Day.
Nice.
And it was fun, yeah. And I think it was quite uneventful, which is good.
Yeah, well,
but
Robert keeps asking me about about your garden project. You might be talking about it later, but that was eventful. He was always asking me, "Did you get another?" I think we got a text from Marsha. Is there another text from Marsha? Have you heard from Marsha about her garden project? Because we didn't have much service.
Well, I'll give you an update. Okay. Well, I'll give you an update on the garden project. Do you want that now, or should I do it in my project?
You can do it in your projects. That's fine.
Okay. All right. I was going to say something, though.
Ben came over, you said.
That's what, Christmas morning, he came over and made pancakes. And then we opened packages. And then he went out and worked on his truck. I have to say, I'm gonna toot my son's horn. I'm amazed at him, given that he, his father's not mechanical, really. I'm not particularly mechanical. I can muddle through, but it's not really I can figure out some things. But he has this truck, and he put in new, not brake pads, but brake cylinders, I think. It's some sort of cylinder that has fluid in it. And so he had to drain those. So he has to, put the truck up on the lift, and then he has to take the wheels off, and then he has to drain the brake fluid out, and then he has to put in these new cylinders and put in the new brake fluid. And apparently my job was to get in the cab of the pickup and pump the brakes. So to get rid of to pump out the fluid, I think is what I was doing. And then he had to put in the new fluid and make sure it was the right level. Then you have to pump the brakes again, I think. I don't know. Anyway, how does he figure this stuff out? I'm always amazed that he can figure this stuff out. And so I asked him, he said, YouTube. He just watched a YouTube video. Now, new cars today, I don't know that you could do it because it's
right.
Everything's computers, little computer chips everywhere, But anyway, this car's now, well, it's a 2000, so it's 25 years. It's almost 26 years old. So it doesn't have all the electronics on it, So, but anyway, I'm amazed. So he just went out there and then had to. Let's see, he went out there. By the time we had breakfast, opened packages, dinked around talking and everything, he got out there about noon, I think, to actually start working on this project, and finished to go to, drove off and tested it, and drove to Dave's house, which he's, if people know Seattle, he's at the top of Queen Anne Hill. So he got down off the hill with the brakes.
Good.
And then, I know. And then he and his girlfriend left the next day. They've gone over to Eastern Washington in the truck. So, I'm such a nervous Nelly about these things that I would have the mechanic do it, but he's so confident, and he has a real skill set. So anyway, well, I haven't heard anything, so I'm assuming all is going good. So anyway, yeah, I'm impressed by his abilities. Well, should we talk projects then?
Yeah, let's do. I'll go first because I don't have very much.
Okay.
So I don't remember if I was working on a hat the last time we recorded or if I had finished hats. But anyway, I finished 3 more hats, either ones that I had talked about already or maybe they were new ones that I had put on the needles. One was using the leftovers from the graffito sweater. And then one was using some handspun and the dark blue from the graffito sweater. Mostly handspun some of that blue kind of shining through. And that one I ended up giving to Tristan's boyfriend at Christmas time, and then as a Christmas present. And then I started a third one with some handspun that I had that was, do you remember the two men at the Sacramento Stitches? I can't remember the name of their booth or their company.
Oh, yes. And you bought a little bag of fiber.
Yes. And it was I think it might've been oatmeal BFL. It was dark, it's over dyed, not super, super dark, but not white. And it was dyed with kind of a red and a blue and a yellow. But of course the red and the blue and the yellow over the top of the dark BFL made, like, the yellow is actually kind of a muddy gold color. And then the red is kind of a muddy, it's not really red, it's more like pink, but it's very muddy. And the blue is the same way. Anyway, it's very pretty. I just didn't have anything to do with it. I just enjoyed spinning it, and I bought it because I thought it was really pretty. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to make a hat out of it. So I'm making a hat. I may keep this hat because I really like it. Not that I need another hat. I have plenty of them, but my hats fade so badly. If they're like hand-dyed yarn, they really like, they're not, the dye is not very light fast, and so they fade so fast. And I have the purple one. I have a purple one in the trailer that I was wearing all through the camping trip. But you can see where the brim is folded up. It's really a dark blue purple, and then the rest of it is a really pale reddish purple. And that's really, literally just from the time I've spent camping wearing it. And then also I used it a little bit for walking. But I haven't worn that hat all that much, and it's very faded. So I think I'm going to swap it out I might swap it out for this one. I think this one will be a little bit more light fast because of the, it's not a really super bright. The colors are not super bright. And I think those bright colors fade much faster. There's something about that kind of neon-y bright dye that isn't very light fast. So anyway, I'm really enjoying it. It's working up nicely. I got a big brim on it where you can actually fold it up, which is something I like. I don't know. A lot of hats these days don't have that. And then I put a little bit of textured moss stitch in the what do you call it? The part of the hat, not the crown where you start the decreases, but between that brim that you roll up, the 2x2 rib, and the crown is a little bit of moss stitch.
The body
of the hat. Yeah. So I'm working on that now. And then I did bring it's called Sleeveless Vest by Lonnie Kildson is the pattern. And, I did bring that, and I did knit on it a little bit while I was camping, but I mostly knit on the hat. And then once Christmas came and Robert got me the books, I was reading instead of knitting. And so I didn't get very far. I am on the front now though. It's split for the yoke, this bottom up, and I had split for the sleeves and done the back yoke up to the point where I need to do something, up to the point where it says, okay, now do the front. So I started on the front of the yoke, and I haven't gotten quite to where I put in I haven't gotten quite to the point where I put in the horizontal stitches and then switch from the 5x1 rib to the 2x1 rib. But I'm close. I'm close to that point. So I'm going to have to lay it out and just do one more measurement, because you're supposed to have that braid, that horizontal. It's not really a braid. It's just a stitch that goes horizontally. You're supposed to have that horizontal stitch at the same place on both the front and the back. And then the ribbing switches. So I'm going to have to put it, lay it out and make sure I measure carefully. So it will be pretty much in the same place. So that's going slowly. And then yesterday, the most exciting thing, I think, is that yesterday when I got home, I was home already, but yesterday I did a few things around the house, and then I wound the warp onto the loom. It had already been threaded, but it hadn't been wound. I warped it front to back. So I wound it on and finished tying it, and actually started weaving my second batch of chenille for the chenille rugs. So I have about maybe 8 inches woven, which it goes super fast. So that'll be fun. I think I'm going to work on that today, but I have to vacuum a little bit first. The house is full of dog hair. So I better do some chores before I start that project. But that's it. I just have 3 things going at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That was quick. Well, I have a lot going on. I'm pleased to report, Kelly, I have a finished project.
Yay!
Yay! Anyway, it's the Mountain High, the sweater I was making with my hand spun. So technically, it's like Robert. Remember he said, he made some comment about calling things done, even though you still had to weave in the ends. Anyway, what I did is I knit down to the bottom band of the body, put that on hold, did the sleeves, made them the length I thought they should be, but put those cuffs on waist yarn, went back and finished the bottom band of the body, and that was fine. So then I went back and when I finished that, then I went and I washed and blocked very carefully, Kelly. I washed and blocked that hand spun sweater, and then was done. I tried it on and it fit perfectly. So then I went and this morning I bound off the sleeves. And I think yesterday or the day before, I had woven in all the ends. I had finished the bottom hem of the sweater, but I hadn't finished the sleeves. So I wanted to finish the sleeves before I recorded to say that it was really done. But I put everything away, my needle and my scissors, all my supplies I put away, and discovered I had not woven in the end of the bottom band of the sweater. So I have to go back and do that. So I'm calling it done, though.
Yeah.
And it fits perfectly because I used a different weight yarn. Well, let me rephrase that. My swatch was a 1 weight, but when I started actually knitting, the yard fluctuated in size, and it seems fine. You would not notice it looking at it at all. But normally with my hand spun, I alternate skeins. But you remember this one, I decided just to let the color variation play out.
Yeah.
And so if I had alternated skeins, it would have blended a bit more. Like the weight. But I think it's. It looks great. It doesn't look bad or anything like that when I mention that. Anyway, so that's done. And I finished the first sock I'm knitting a pair of socks using Hummingbird Full Moon BFL that and the colorway is Eye of Newt. And so I finished the first sock. They're kind of black and yellow.
I was going to say, those are those
on my feet.
Ones that you were talking about when you were visiting. Or maybe you were knitting on them. Or
Yeah. Oh, I think I cast on down there.
I think so too, because you were laughing about how they were almost the same color as the other socks that you had. The same. They had black in them, the same as the other socks that you.
A lot of black, yeah. And I'm going to say I'm kind of sick of these socks now too. In fact, I pulled out another skein. Because I'll talk about something else I'm doing, but I brought another skein out because I thought I need to bring a pair of. I'm going to probably finish this second sock, so I'm going to have to. I want to have something with me in case I finish the second sock, and I really kind of want to just start the new socks and not do these. I think a bit too much black.
Yeah,
too many black socks. So anyway. But I must have cast it on at your house or maybe at my brother's house because I was sending you pictures in the 3-day car ride home.
Yes, that's right. I remember.
My knitting in the... Actually, I don't think we've recorded since we recorded at your house.
Right. No, we haven't, because we were going to record right before Christmas, and I was too croaky.
Right, and then yeah. No, after I saw you that Monday after Thanksgiving, I drove down to Palm Springs to visit my brother, and I was there just shy of a week. And then the following Saturday, I think it was like the 6th of December, we started driving home, and it took us 3 days. So I had a lot of time in the car to knit because it was 3 days in the car. I will say the last leg, excuse me, from Eugene, Oregon to Seattle was awful because there was a massive rains. I think it was rains all over the West Coast. And there was so much water on the road that the speed limit is 70, but everybody was going about 55 or 60 which was smart because there was so much water on the road and so much rain coming down. The visibility was terrible.
Oh yeah.
So it took us probably 2 hours longer to get home than we expected. We were supposed to get home around 6 and we got home around 8 because the weather was so terrible. But anyway, I got a lot of knitting done in that car. 3 days in a car just on Interstate 5 is just too much.
That's a lot. That's
too
a lot.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. And I think, when I got home, my Sheridan Flats, the roving that I was spinning, I was spinning it at your house. And I got home and I finished the 3rd bobbin, and I plied it together, but I have over-plied it, Kelly, and you and I had a conversation about this. So it's I washed it and it's in a hank, but it's still very, very, I have no idea what I did wrong. Because, we've had this conversation before that you said when you're plying, it's a good idea to very slightly overply, because when you wind it off back onto the nitty dotty and you keep on, some of that untwists, right? But I don't know what I did, but honestly, I don't know what I did. It's terrible. So I'm going to see if I can put it back into a cake. And
so yeah, what were you doing while you plied it?
I was watching TV.
You must have been watching something tense. Or,
you think so?
Or maybe just
know.
Something really engrossing where you weren't really paying attention.
Well, I wonder if it has something to do with the fiber, because when I mentioned to you that I spun this skein of yarn is 5 ounces. I started with 24 ounces. This skein of yarn is 5 ounces, and it's only about 120 yards. And when I bought it, everybody said, 24 ounces is enough to spin yarn for a sweater. Because, that's how I roll. I always want a sweater quantity. And I'm not, I think my estimates, I'll have about, 600 yards, just shy of 600 yards. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. And I think running it through the wheel again and trying to take out some of that twist, I don't know it's not going to get me any more length.
Not much, yeah. It might get you some, but not enough.
But you made the comment when I called you about it, and you said it's also the fiber is contributing to it, because let me click on this. I don't remember now what the fiber is.
It had Gotland in it.
Yes, it had Gotland, and I think there's silk in there. And you're saying they're kind of like long fibers. And that's probably affecting it. Let me see. 80% sheep's wool. And then it says in parentheses, Wensleydale Finn Gotland.
Oh, yeah.
15% mohair and 6% silk.
So those are all pretty... So the mohair and the Gotland and the Wensleydale, right? Those are all in there. Those are all really dense, like heavier. You know how when you hold, how I always love a mohair skein because it's so big and juicy and heavy. It's the heaviness of the fiber that probably contributed. Yeah. It's a different, it's a very different yards per pound than if it was, merino or Polworth or something else.
Yeah.
So that's probably
lesson learned. So I may end up it's worsted weight, so I might have enough maybe for a vest or something. I don't know. We'll see. Again, it sort of goes back to what you always say is you just spin to spin, and then you decide what you're going to make.
Yeah, you let the yarn tell you after it's done.
Yeah. I'm going to cast on a hat. It's called the Nicholas Slouch Hat by Kyle Kunnecke. And I believe Kyle Kunnecke is the one who designed the happiness oh,
yes. I was going to say that name sounds very familiar.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm using, Kelly, I went into deep stash, and I'm using Sincere Sheep Terroir worsted in a rust color. And I bought that at Stitches in 2017.
Okay.
One skein of a solid color worsted weight. What was I thinking? I don't know. So I'm going to make a hat. Yeah, I'm going to make a hat. And then it's that's going to be the main color. And then the contrasting color, it's a pattern. It has like a snowflake on it and some stripes. And I'm using wool. It's called Full Circle Wool Worsted. And it's the natural cream color. And that wool, I got the time, I don't remember how many years, 2 years ago or something, that 2 or 3 years ago after Knockers, I drove up the coast. And I went to a winery called Navarro, and this is the wool, or this yarn is from wool from their sheep that graze in between the vines to keep the weeds down and the grass down.
Oh, okay. I remember that.
So that's when, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to make that hat, and because I'm going to get to why I want these small projects, another pair of socks and this hat. Weaving studio, no, I haven't done anything to the weaving studio other than clean it. I'm going to continue on about knitting. So for Christmas, Kim gave me a knitted project that she made, and it's the cutest thing. It's called the Novus Knit Pouch, and I put a link in the show notes to it. And it's a small little pouch. Maybe it would be good for a skein, like one cake of yarn for like socks or something would fit in there. And it's a very interesting construction because it's kind of how would you? You looked at it, Kelly. It's sort of square, and boxy.
Yeah,
kind of, and it has sort of the sides come up and turn into the handles. That's garter stitch. And then the opposite sides or opposing sides are linen stitch. Mm-hmm. And I think, I don't know if the bottom, I think, is linen stitch. I don't have it here in my room right now. It's very cute.
Yeah, I was looking at the pattern page. Laura Nelkin is the designer, and I was looking at the pattern page when you told me about it. And she talks about her using her Novus construction for a bag. And so I'm wondering if she must have some other project or some other pattern that is called Novus something that that uses that same construction. But I don't have her pattern page up anymore, so I can't go look at I'm not going to go hunting down her patterns while we talk, but it sounds like it's a construction that she's used for other things.
Yes, and Kim said it's really fun to make because the construction is so interesting. And she said she learned a technique too. And I really should not even try to attempt to describe this because I don't fully understand it. But you know when you have to go back and pick up stitches along the gusset of your socks, for example, or the front band of your sweater or whatever, sleeves. You know that try-it-on tubing? What you do is you wrap your yarn around that at each row, like somehow, and so then when you go back, So when you wrap your yarn around that, and Kim had a different name for it, but when she showed it to me, it's that try-it-on tubing, whatever that plastic tubing is. And so you wrap your yarn around that, and then when you go back, all your stitches are on that tubing. Now, I understand the concept, but I don't quite, I'm more of a visual learner. I have to watch a video about this. So that's kind of an interesting idea for, if you could use it for like a sweater band or a sleeve or something. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Kind of interesting.
That is interesting. That would be worth checking out, just so you have it in your toolkit, so that if you wanted to do that, you could. I mean, some things you don't pick up every row. Like in socks, you pick up every other row of the heel, which would make sense. But like sometimes with the...
I don't. I pick each one up. Am I wrong?
No, I think it turns out that you just pick up every other one. Because you slip the edge stitch and you pick up that slipped one.
Oh, maybe that's what I am picking up.
Yeah. Because otherwise you'd be picking up like 32 stitches or 36 stitches, depending on how wide your heel is.
So I'm just picking up the slip stitches, which is half. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
You're right.
Right.
I'm just not really.
I mean, we both have slightly different sock recipes that we're using. But the basic idea of the heel flap and gusset is the same, I think, for both of us. We're just kind of describing it differently.
Yeah. Okay. So moving on, why am I packing another yarn for another pair of socks, and why am I starting a small hat project? Is because I'm going on a trip. So I'm leaving January 6th. I'm headed to Oaxaca, Mexico for a fiber tour, and it's called Color Explosion of Oaxacan Culture and Folk Artists. And I'm going with a group called Row and Tree Travel. So I'll be gone. I'll come back the 18th. And
that sounds really fun.
About it. I contacted the tour guide and asked if there was any. If I come a day early, can I take a cooking class? So I'm going a little early, and then I'm going to take a cooking class. So that'll be fun. And then she opened it up to other people on the trip. So I think there's going to be 4 of us taking the class.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah.
And what else? So anyway, that's what I wanted. Some small projects. I don't want to take. I don't want to take a sweater.
Right. Exactly.
So and then I wanted something a bit more interesting than just a sock. So anyway, that's why I'm going to cast on this hat. So I'll report in on that. So we'll have to figure out when we're going to record next. It'll have to be when I come back. Obviously.
Yeah. We talked about maybe recording just a quick the winners of the home along, which we'll talk about. Yeah. We might do that. We might do that in between time.
And because today is December 30th, and tomorrow is New Year's Eve. So I don't know when this will go out. It may go out after the home along.
Oh, that's true. I could just add it in at the end, and then depending on when I get this ready to go out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it may be added on to the end of this, depending on how long it takes me to edit.
Okay. All right. So TBD.
Yes. This is
to be determined what we're doing.
Such good podcast planning that we're doing right live on the air.
I know. Well, yeah. Anyway.
But we'll make it work. Yeah.
You had an interruption and I'm going out of town. So we'll figure it out. Yeah. Anyway, but then getting back to the garden redesign, because Robert wants to know what's going on. So I need to add some more pictures to my project page. So the original garden, the fence is set in from the alley about 2 feet. So the new design is there's a retaining wall that goes from about 2.5 feet at the highest point. It drops down to maybe 12 inches at the lowest point. That is running along the edge of the alley. So I will no longer have that no man's land of weeds and and dog poop.
Yes.
The neighbors leave. So it's a steel wall. And then on top of that is a fence. There's going to be a fence. So he's completed the all along so basically where I share the property line with the neighbors, it runs from their garage perpendicular to the alley. So it runs from along the property line up against their garage out to the alley, makes a hard left, goes down the alley, stair steps down, and then when it gets to my driveway, it makes another hard left and goes and runs down the driveway, and then the fence will go. And then I will say, I was planning on just having the retaining wall right on the edge of my driveway, but he pointed out that it'll be very difficult for cars to park there because they won't be able to open their doors. Mm-hmm. So the retaining wall is going to be set back maybe, I think it's about 16 inches back from the driveway. Yeah. And then there's a very low little strip that's maybe 4 inches high where there'll be plantings in there. So when people come to visit, they won't open their doors into a steel wall.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be kind of interesting because it's, so the steel is a more contemporary idea, but it was less expensive than putting in the concrete, according to him. And then, but I am going to have a wrought iron fence on top of it, or a wrought iron looking fence on top of it. Mm-hmm. And I know it's a little unusual that I'm not putting a solid wood fence for privacy, but I really don't want, I don't want that solid wall. I want it kind of open so light comes through. Sunlight comes through, air comes through. And also I want people to see me. I mean, that sounds weird, and then all the privacy is going to come with the bushes, the plantings.
Yeah.
So and actually right now, if you go out there right now, it's dead of winter and the hedge has been removed. Because the patio is somewhat lower, if you sit out in the patio, people can't see you sitting in the patio, even now with the vegetation that's still left, even though he's cut down the big hedge.
Yeah, because the yard kind of slopes up toward the alley.
Yeah, yeah. And it will get rid of this weird configuration that I have. I won't go into the whole thing, but I'm going to get it's going to expand my garden about 2 feet towards the alley, so I'll get more space. Nice. And, yeah, I think it's going to be really nice. And that's on top of, I talked before about all the drainage that he's done to mitigate all of the water that would go into the garage. That's on. We've had a lot of heavy rainstorms and no water. The only water that went into the garage was when my brother was here. And he put the car away, but he didn't shut the door, so the garage door was open all night long and a massive rainstorm. Jeez. And I went out there in the morning. I thought, oh my gosh, I was so worried because Ben has all of his tools out there, and then John, who's doing the work on the garden, he has all his tools out there, expensive stuff, but nothing was taken. So
that's good.
Just a mistake that happened, but so it's pretty exciting, and I'm kind of excited to. After the fence goes in, then the attention will all turn to plantings, and
that'll be fun.
And sometimes I'll go out there and he'll stop and we just stand there and we talk about plants because I think. But I have to say I am so impressed with him because the biggest steel plate was 500 pounds. That he had to put in place, and he used, we rented a forklift. He needed the forklift to get the steel off the truck, and then he needed the forklift to get the steel panels into place, the big one, so like the 500-pound one, but some of them are 300 pounds, and he moves them into place by himself just with, a lot of it is strength, but a lot of it's just technique.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like, guys who move sheetrock, there's a technique for, like, they're heavy, but there's a technique for picking them up. He's got he has quite a bit of skill set around all of this. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, very cool.
So I've been sending pictures, but I have to go and send you some new pictures, I think, because a lot of times he works till it's dark, and sometimes he works till 9 o'clock at night, and he's out there with work light. So I go out and take a picture when it's dark. I need to go out there and take pictures in the daylight, you know, and I, because I don't remember now what I've last sent Robert, but I'll go check and I'll send him some updated photos. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited about this.
That is exciting. Yeah.
Yeah. And,
well, and he'll be able to see it because we're coming up in February.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. Well, it won't be warm enough to sit on the deck, but we may have some nice days we can sit out there.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so that's kind of it for me. I don't have, I know. I completely forgot weaving.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I did. I skipped over my rag rugs. I was trying to do all my knitting stuff. My rag rugs. So I did, I'm not done. I am not going to finish these at all in time for the Home Along.
Well, you finished your other ones, though, didn't you? I mean, your other ones were in the time frame of the Home Along, I think.
Oh, were they?
The first ones? Yeah, I think so.
Oh, were they?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll count that then. Anyway, so the last time we recorded, I had the warp on the loom. And I thought we are recording, so I need to go down in the basement and I need to start weaving. But the first thing I need to do is cut the fabric strips. So I use the technique where you sew your fabric into a tube, and then you cut strips the width that you want from the fold up to the seam, but not all the way through the seam. And then there's a technique, and I won't even try to explain it, but there's a technique where you can cut these strips apart so it ends up being, think of like your knitting, or your knitting is like a spiral.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just keep layering it on top. So it's that way. It ends up just cutting it into this one long continuous strip. Brilliant. Really, really great way to do it. Much faster than what I did the first time, which is I cut all the strips and then I had to sew them all together. And that was very time consuming. So anyway, I've cut 3 different fabric pieces. And so I started weaving.
Yay.
And I've done, I don't know, 6 inches or something, just because, and I did that last night because I knew I was recording at 9 o'clock in the morning and I wanted to be able to say, I've started weaving.
Yeah, nice.
So I'm trying something different too. Kelly, because the rugs I made before, I cut the strips into 1 inch width. And this time I decided to do 2 inch width because that's the width of my rag shuttles, or whatever you call it.
Okay.
So I decided just to do 2 inches and make it a little bit thicker rug.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Very cool. Well, I'm glad you got that started.
Yeah.
I had the same incentive. Yes. Yeah, I had the exact same thoughts as you, Marsha, as I was getting that wound on yesterday, the chenille, for making more chenille. I thought, okay, I need to get this going so I can talk about it. It's been sitting on the loom for a while. I thought I would get more, I thought I would get it all the way on and get it to weaving point before we left for the camping trip, but it didn't happen. There was just too much preparation to do. And I didn't talk about the Christmas presents that I made.
Oh.
I made 2 little amigurumi things. One was my grandnephew. He's in a robotics team, and they're the Straw Hat Pirates or something like that. Anyway, I found it comes from a anime show called One Piece. And I actually was looking for anime because I knew they liked that, little crochet anime figures. And I saw this Jolly Roger with a straw hat on, and it reminded me of the name of his robotics team. So I made that for him, and then put it with his cash that I was giving him for a Christmas present. And then I was gonna make a K-pop demon slayer, demon hunter, I think, because I know that's a popular show with kids for Faye. But I had done also a shepherd for my nativity, and I was like done with little fiddly pieces that I needed to sew together. And so I ended up just making her a little granny square chicken, the little tiny granny square chicken. And I put on both of them, I put little carabiners so that they could be, I don't know if they do this, but actually a lot of the kids or the students, they're not even really kids, they're older. But they hang stuff off their backpack. Mm-hmm. Even the guys will have like all these stuffed things hanging off their backpack. Mm-hmm. So I thought, I don't know if the younger kids do this. But I put little carabiners on them so that they could be hung on something. Right. Mm-hmm. So anyway, but so that kept me from getting the weaving done. And so I was kind of like the same as you, like, I need to get this so I can talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Our listeners keep us moving.
That's exactly true.
And I'm looking at your project, Shake a Tail Feather. You did it in one day.
It's so easy. I mean, it was so easy. It really was an easy project. That little granny square chicken. And fun. Granny squares, I think granny squares are fun to make. And I got as a present from my mom a deck of granny square cards. I think there's maybe there's 52 of them, like a regular card deck. I don't know. It's a little box that has all these cards in it with different granny square patterns. And at one point she had gotten me a box of knitting patterns. They were like, socks or a shawl or a scarf or, a hat. And I made a bunch of stuff from those way back in my knitting career. So this will be fun because there's all these different types of granny squares that you can make. So I'll have to play around. With that, and maybe I'll make some tiny granny square chickens for the table at school. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see if I get inspired. But yeah, by the time I was done with the shepherd, the knitted shepherd, and then this crocheted Jolly Roger, I was like, okay, I'm not the K-pop demon hunter. She has all these braids. And so you have to crochet all this stuff for her hair that then needs to be attached and braided, and more stuff needs to be attached. And I looked at that pattern. It's really cute. I still might make it, but I'll have to be not in that mood of I'm done with all these little fiddly pieces. And it's funny because I don't, like I always say, I'm not interested in knitting gnomes because I'm all of those fiddly pieces. But every once in a while I get the urge to do a toy, a crocheted toy. And that's what happened right before Christmas. I was like, okay, I'm going to do a crocheted thing just to go with, just to put in the package with their money. So anyway, he's 13 and she's 11. So, it's an age where they like to go shopping. So anyway. All right. Well, I think that's all of our projects, right? You had done yours and I had done mine, even though I forgot of some that I started and finished in between episodes. They never got into the show notes. I do want to say, so our winter weave along is still going on. It goes all the way through March 31st. And Marsha, you know this because I talked to already, so tell everyone else. I got a class at the Newberry School of Weaving for Christmas from Robert. So we're going. We have to still work out our dates. I know. I'm invited to go. Yes.
And actually, is Robert going to come too? I know he's not going to do the weaving, but is he going to just fly with us and hang out with us? Or
I don't think so. I don't think that's the plan.
Okay. Well, do you know that he called me to ask that he wanted to, this was 6 months ago, I think. He called me and said, if he bought you the gift card, would I be willing to go? And I said, I've been looking at that school. I follow that guy I think he's on Instagram or something.
Oh, okay.
One of the teachers. And I've been following, and I'm like, I'd love to do that. And so when he called me, I said, "Oh my God, I don't even have to think twice. Yes, I would go." Do you want to talk about it? About how it's structured, what we have to.
Well, let's talk about it more next time when we have more. When we have more. When we have more information, and we've made some decisions, yeah. But anyway, we're very excited, and it's something fun that's coming up. And then then our home along is finishing. We talked about that finishing tomorrow. So maybe I better put a few stitches in my quilt between now and then, just to say I worked on it. That quilt has been sitting with no stitches for over a year now. So maybe I'll do that today, or maybe I'll just work on it tomorrow. That would be a good thing to finish out the year with. So that's ending. And then I just wanted to talk about two things. One is that Marsha and I are going to do an episode where we talk about the game of wool. That's what it's called, right?
Yes. Yeah, game of wool. We're not saying anything, Kelly.
No, not today.
But we both have. Yeah. Did you watch the last
Not
episode?
Yet. No.
Did you get a chance?
I haven't watched the last episode yet. So anyway, when we're done, when we're both done watching and when Marsha's back from Oaxaca, we'll put out an episode that's just the game of wool. And if you don't want to be spoiled, just don't listen. But I'll just say we have opinions.
Don't we about everything in life? We have opinions.
We have opinions. Yes, we do. And then the other thing I wanted to say that I'm doing this year, I decided to do, you know how people do like their Make 9 and they put together a photo collage of the 9 things that they're going to make. Well, I changed my mind so much over the year that what I decided I'm going to do for myself, because I do want kind of a challenge. I want to kind of stay focused a little bit on getting certain things done. And I've done a pretty good job, of using my fleece and that kind of stuff over the last couple of years, using up yarn. But especially with these rugs, now, I have a lot of the old yarn is going to be gone, and I really can start to focus on what I want to do, and have less of the kind of stuff where I'm doing it to use up things and get them out of my stash, and more of the things that I'm doing a little bit more intentionally. So what I thought I would do is make myself a bingo card for 2026. And I was telling Robert about it, and he said, "Oh, so your goal is to get blackout." And I said, "Well, the thing about it is I like the idea of that, but with a bingo card, it gives you choices. I don't have to do that. I can have milestones like 4 corners." We started talking about bingo, and his mom used to play bingo, go and play bingo at, I don't know, the Elks Club or something. And my friend Nancy, her dad was in the VFW, and her mom and her aunt would go and play bingo, and I'd go with them at the VFW. And anyway, we got into this big conversation about bingo and all the different, playing, how they would all play 8, 10, 12 cards at once. And just super into bingo. And I would go and play, and I won, and then you'd go and pick a prize from the table. And anyway, we started talking about bingo. But the thing about bingo is you don't have to fill out the whole card, and you have milestones. So I could get 4 corners, and that would be a win. I could get across or down or diagonal, and that would be a win. I can pick which ones I want to do, and I don't have to make it for myself that it's going to be I have to fill out every. My goal is not necessarily to get blackout, right? My goal is just to do things on the bingo card. So anyway, I'm going to do that for 2026. I don't know what I'm going to put on it yet, but there are websites where you can put in a list of things, and it just populates them into a bingo card. Oh. And I thought, okay, that would be fun. I just have to think about what things I want to populate. And then I asked Robert what was he going to do, and he said, well, his bingo card, what did he have planned for 2026? And he said, well, I think my bingo card has 4 squares. It's 2x2 bingo card. So that was the end of that conversation. But anyway, I thought that'd be fun. If other people want to do it along, we can put up a thread for people's bingo cards, and I'll share where I went to make that, to have that card, to get that bingo card made and populated.
Yeah, just as you're talking, I'm just putting in Google search free bingo card, and there's all kinds of Canva, myfreebingocards.com. It's just a Google search, all this stuff comes up. So for ideas about how to make a bingo card.
Yeah, so I thought that would be kind of a fun way to organize my thoughts, it's a cool idea about what I wanted to do, and also not be tied down in the way of the Make 9. That doesn't feel fun to me.
So, and then let me just, about your bingo card though, is it going to be all fiber related, or are you going to put other things on there? Like other creative things, like, I don't know.
Like finish my quilt.
Gardening related. Or just other things like cooking related.
Yeah.
Like, okay, remember there was that cake that you wanted to make?
That princessa torte.
Put that on there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to make it be a little bit wider than fiber arts. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Because as a bingo card, it's bingo, right? Five boxes across, and then is 5 by 5, so that's 25. That's 20. That's a lot of. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it won't necessarily be like a whole necessarily like a whole project. Like, okay, I'm not making 25 sweaters. You know that for sure. I don't barely knit one sweater a year. But maybe, try a technique or, I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead.
I have 2 suggestions for your bingo card.
Okay.
That are not fiber related. One is, I think you should make that cake because you've been talking about it, and then I think you should put on there, take the dogs to the beach. Like,
yes,
you can set it like once a quarter,
a minimum amount of times. Yes, that's true.
Or once a month. Once a month might be too much, but like just because that's one thing. Because every time we go to the beach, you come home and go, "Why don't I do this more often?"
Right,
so
right.
Maybe that could be something.
That's a really good idea. Yeah.
I think the bingo card has to be fun stuff, right?
Yes, right.
It can't be
make a dentist appointment.
Finish your tax. yeah, and do your taxes.
No. I mean, both of those things have to be done, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Right.
That's not I mean, I could do a whole other bingo card of the unfun stuff.
Yeah, no.
But I'm not going
having
to.
a fun bingo card, because bingo is fun.
Yeah.
But putting bad stuff on, not fun stuff on a bingo card is not fun. It doesn't make it fun.
Okay, now that would be a whole episode in itself. What would we put on the unfun bingo card?
Oh, I can make a list. I'm gonna make an unfun bingo card for you.
For me? Oh, that would be fun
too.
That would be actually fun to make an unfun bingo card for someone else.
For someone else. Okay.
I could even make Robert's 2x2 bingo card really unfun.
I can think of many things just listening to the two of you that could go on his unfun bingo card.
Oh my God. That is funny, yes. I think that needs to be the name of the episode, Marsha.
Yeah, an unfun bingo card for someone else.
Yeah, yes. Okay. So that's it. That's all I have.
All right. I better get going.
Yeah.
And
me too.
And anyway, Happy New Year to everybody. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. Mm-hmm. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
We're going to turn the page and have a new year, and I think things are looking up a little bit. I feel like this is going to be a good year.
Yeah. Well,
Can't get worse.
I think we can make it a good year regardless, right? I mean, regardless of what happens that we don't control. There are things we can control that we can put on our bingo cards.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk. I guess I'll just talk to you when I get home.
Yeah. Or maybe we'll talk before you leave, because you're not leaving for almost a week. So.
Oh, I'm sure we'll talk, but we won't. We won't record. So, yeah, I'm sure you'll get a weaving question from me. You're the oracle.
Oh, geez.
For all things weaving. No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah. All right.
Okay,
we'll say
Marsha.
Goodbye. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. To subscribe to the podcast, visit 2usfiberadventures.com.
Join us on our adventures on Ravelry and Instagram. I am Better in Motion, and Kelly is 100 Projects.
Until next time, we're the 2Us
doing our part for World Fleece.